Today, I'm candidly discussing why AmblesideOnline is my favorite Charlotte Mason curriculum, no holds barred. Hi, I'm Jenny with Kids Learning for Life, and I've talked a lot on this channel about AmblesideOnline, how it works, how I use it, but I do always try to keep my videos pretty informational, and I try to keep my own, personal feelings out of them as much as possible, just so you can make up your mind for yourself. But I think I'm ready to really go into my own personal reasons why I believe that AmblesideOnline is the best Charlotte Mason curriculum, at least for my family. I'm going to be potentially stepping on some toes here, but these are the factors that I took into consideration when choosing our Charlotte Mason curriculum. Firstly, I just have to mention that AmblesideOnline was really my point of entry to the Charlotte Mason method in general. I remember back almost 4 years ago when I was getting ready to homeschool my oldest daughter, and I was hugely pregnant with my third baby. It's ironic because I'm actually pregnant with my fourth now, but I was pregnant. I was like balancing the laptop on my belly, and I was trying to find all of the information that I could about homeschooling because I really felt like I did want to stick to some sort of method. I felt like that would really help give us a vision for what our homeschool should look and feel like. There are so many websites that are very vague, very ugly, and they in little tiny blurbs try to summarize what each of the homeschool methods are. And I just felt like none of those were giving me very much information, and I wasn't really drawn to any of them, to be honest, not even the way that they used to summarize Charlotte Mason. So then I did a lot more deeper research on each homeschool method, and eventually I was slowly getting more and more information about Charlotte Mason. I was kind of drawn to the fact that it's very literature-based, and then eventually I stumbled upon the AmblesideOnline website, and it's what really gave me all of the information that I felt like I was looking for on this homeschool method. It was like a whole new world opened up to me. I remember going through the entire frequently asked questions section on the website, and I remember finding myself either agreeing with or being intrigued by how the method worked. I also really loved the schedule and the book list on the AmblesideOnline website. I loved all of the books that I was seeing on there because a lot of them I either had experience with or I had heard of and really wanted to read at some point in my own life. So I just loved the use of really good quality literature that they had as part of the curriculum. Everything about AmblesideOnline just seemed to fit this mold of what I was looking for, but I didn't know I was looking for, if that makes any sense. This brings me to the quality of books that are on the AmblesideOnline website. This is definitely my favorite part of the curriculum. And like I said, I was pretty familiar with a lot of the titles that they had on there, but they weren't necessarily the kinds of things I thought I would be doing with my kids in a homeschool setting. And then also there were books on there that I had never even heard of, but I decided when I started diving into AmblesideOnline that I would just kind of trust the curriculum, and I'm so glad I did because even the books that I had never heard of before, things like Understood Betsy or The Wind in the Willows, have quickly become some of our favorite books of all time. My previous experience with history was really dry, boring, detached textbooks from, high school and college. And I knew that I did not want that for my own kids, for their education. So diving into books like Our Island Story, This Country of Ours, A Child's History of the World, these books have opened up a new world to me and my kids. I feel like my kids are getting this very rich, very deep, very informational education in history that is unlike anything that I ever experienced in public school. When we started reading them, they were so compelling. I was like, I want to keep reading. I want to read this for fun in my own spare time. That's how well written these books are. And this has been my experience with all of the history books, including the biographies. And this has really changed my perspective on how history should be taught. I feel like if you give kids living books, then they will be compelled to learn more about history on their own. Not only are the books that AmblesideOnline has on their book list high quality, but they are also old books. And I know that's not on everyone's list of criteria for the curriculum they're looking for, but it is on my list. I feel like something is lost in modern books. I feel like reading a modern book feels very different than reading old living books. whether the thing that's lost in them is like a richness or a dedication to the truth that is just not there like it is in old books. There are some curriculums, in particular history curriculums, that I feel like I just cannot trust because I feel like they just spend more time lecturing us on past wrongdoings in history than just informing us of what happened. Because I can tell you from experience that when we read chapters about how people were mistreated in the past, my kids know that we shouldn't do that now. They know it's wrong. The way that these old living books are written, they're still written in a way that notifies their reader that it's wrong, but we don't need to sit there and be lectured about it. I feel like that's talking down to a child. And this brings us back to the Charlotte Mason method, because in the Charlotte Mason method, children are encouraged to create connections in their minds for themselves. They do not need a curriculum to do this for them. So this is why I stick to the old, well-written books. The accessibility of old books is also a bonus. You can more easily get these from the library. You can get them from used bookstores, thrift stores, anything like that. I mean, you can even use apps like LibriVox, which are free, and they provide the audio for these books that are in the free domain for free on an app that you can listen to as a family. Now, of course, another benefit to the Ambleside Online curriculum is that it is free. Now, when I say it's free, I mean the book list and the schedule. Everything on the website is free information for you. Obviously, the books themselves probably are not going to be free for you to buy, but the bones and the structure are there so you don't have to do the planning. I have a friend who is around my age and she was homeschooled in the 90s. And she was homeschooled kind of with the Charlotte Mason method. And her mom used to spend so much time at the local library, kind of planning, finding the books, creating a schedule, finding the information she needed to teach these Charlotte Mason lessons to her kids. And so hearing stories like that makes me so grateful that I have a resource for free like Ambleside Online. And I'm so grateful to the women who spent years and years of their lives creating and maintaining this curriculum for all of us to use. It's really, really a blessing. Now, the last point that I will cover about Ambleside Online is that I like that it is a bit unpolished, and I'll explain to you what I mean by that. I've always been a little wary of these like Pinterest-worthy curriculums that have beautiful illustrations and the lessons are like neat and tidy, wrapped up in a bow and make you feel warm and fuzzy. They really take this like good, true, and beautiful theme with the Charlotte Mason curriculum a bit too far in my opinion. And personally, I don't see education like this at all. Education is never going to be tied up in a neat, tidy little bow because education is frankly never over. I mean, everyone is learning for the rest of their lives. Also, an education is not always necessarily pretty. At my house, I don't know about yours, but at my house, the kitchen is messy because we were learning something new in the kitchen. My kids really love handicrafts, so there are always like handicraft supplies sitting out or kind of, I don't know, halfway put away when they should have been put away. I mean, there's always books lying about. I can see tons of books from where I'm recording right now. And I shouldn't just not make the mess because I'm afraid of having to go and clean it up before I post anything on social media just to make sure that my homeschool looks nice and pretty and my curriculum is really nice and tidy. Now, I'm not saying that Ambleside Online is messy. It's actually quite far from that. It's very, very organized, but I will say it's not always the easiest on the eyes. The schedules and book list are created in Excel, columns and rows in a way that has no frills to it. And the website, although it has been recently updated and it looks so much better than it did even, a year ago, it's still not trying to lure you in with this like false sense of cuteness like a lot of websites do. Ambleside Online is what it is. Take it or leave it. It's has a lot of different components to it. There are lots of different subjects on there. There's Bible study, picture study, handicrafts, the holidays. They have special lessons for holidays. I mean, there's all sorts of different things that you can choose from on there. So it can feel a little disjointed or a little, chaotic at times, I guess. I think some people struggle with how to use Ambleside Online, even if they're just sticking to like the strict schedule and book list, because like I said, it is what it is. It's not really trying to impress you. I just love that they're not trying to sell me anything. They're really actually good at listing free or cheaper ways to purchase the books. And I'm grateful for the way that Ambleside Online is presented to us because In this world of social media and influencers and just so much noise, I feel like it's really refreshing to go on a website that just is truly just there to help you. They're not selling you anything, they're just there to help you quietly. It's bare bones and simple, and I love it. Previously, I have detailed what a whole year of Ambleside Online books cost me, so I will link to that video right over here for you in case you're interested. See you next time, and happy homeschooling.